Oh, hey, welcome back, fellow shop rats. Today we're back on the 1926 Oakland. Today we're going to be putting in the brand new windshield on this car. Remember that we took out the old plate glass, the stuff that would kill you, and we're putting in laminated safety glass. And a part of that process, we spent the last few episodes on this car, hand fabricating and repairing the window track mechanism because this windshield slides up and down and everything was rotted and broken and corroded. Well, we just had a bunch of work. So today we're going to find out if all that hard work pays off or not. Dad's going to be here in a few minutes and we're going to get after it. I'm Mike.
This is My Cars Shop.
It's always fun for me to have both of these cars in the shop. Now, many of you have heard the story before, but I'll tell it again because we have so many new subscribers on the channel. My great grandfather bought this 1926 Oakland brand new from McClure Motors in Calumet, Michigan in 1926. It's been in this family its entire life. This car was purchased in Calumet, Michigan, brand new, somewhere around Calumet, Michigan. I don't know the history on this car as well. When I was a kid, my grandfather's neighbor, not this side of the family, but my mom's side of the family, his neighbor bought this car to work on with his brother sometime in the 70s, but it was from the local area. So it was in that area its entire life. So this car was taken off the road in late 46. This car was delivered up in Calumet to be sold brand new sometime in late 46, early 47. So these cars have spent a large part of their life together in the same community. Now, this one was driven after that one was taken off the road. No relation at all. I don't even know if the people that owned this knew this because I don't know the original family story behind this car. But guy that became my friend, Johnny, had this car in the 70s, and I used to go over and work with him and annoy him when he was working on this car because I was just a little shaver. Had the flathead in it. He was working on it to fix it up for his brother. His brother wasn't interested in the car, and Johnny just threw up his hands and it sat there forever. I bought the car sometime around 2006, 2007, and brought it down here. But it's fun to me for these two cars from Calumet who had no connection, as far as I know, except being in the same community all of their lives. It's just really cool for there to be two cars that I've known my entire life to be cars that are here together again. I think it's cool. My plan today was just to pull this outside, but it's raining, so I've had to move a bunch of cars around to make garage space over near the garage. But we're going to fire it up and get ready to move it over there. I hope. Sounds like my battery's getting a little weak. Well, this guy just showed up, so we're kind of going over what we're going to do. We need to put these tracks on the glass and then obviously put that in the car. We're missing some of this felt, and I'm hoping this gasket material might work. We are going to put some daubs of silicone in there. And on this, I'm not so worried about the bottom having anything. It just needs it on the sides to keep it from rattling. So we need to put this on the top of the window. Make sure we put it on with the right orientation to fit the, because I guess it doesn't matter. The glass is the same either way.
Same either side. Yeah. Long as keep that in mind when you put the other parts on, though, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, because there is a difference in these right here. You notice this is cut out right here. There's it goes like this. Okay. That's to clear the mount for the crank mechanism. So when this goes up, it doesn't hit. So we need to make sure these are on. Like if this is the way the windshield goes, I don't know if it is, we'll unwrap it. Then this needs to be inside of the car.
Okay.
So then that means that this needs to be this way because you can see the rub marks from the mechanism.
Okay.
Okay. So I thought what we do is if you
want a mirror image of this one.
Yes, this one's the same, only the opposite. Same thing. So it goes on like that. So I thought what I'd have you do is if you can cut some pieces of this gasket material to go in these where we're missing the felt. We need two pieces, one on each side. We'll silicone that in. And then also if you can take our graphite and actually try to make these as gray as you can because I don't know if you'll be able to see them or not. And I couldn't get a gray felt. So I don't know if that green is going to show up. So it'll accomplish two things. It'll turn it gray, but it will also, lubricate it really good. So.
Okay. Now on these, do you want one piece for this side and a piece for that side, or make it U-shaped?
I'll tell you. Find out. Make it U-shaped. I didn't think of that.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, because that's flexible enough. The other stuff I was looking at is so old. I've had it for 30 years. When I did that, it cracked, so I didn't even think about doing it like that.
All right.
Yeah, good. All right, we'll get after that.
All
I'll get this unwrapped and figure out which way it's got to go. Glass is all out. I kind of test fitted this a little bit. It looks good. Got the graphite put in these as much for coloring them down, just to dull that green up a little bit. And we changed our plan here a little bit on this. The original gasket was a little bit torn in one spot, so Dad cut that out and is making a longer piece. But this was maybe this one will work on here. Doesn't have to be right to the bottom, so he's making a longer piece for that one. And we'll get those glued in, and then we can get it on the glass. It's such a pain. So we made some paper felt, if that makes sense, in here out of this material here, just to give it a little cushion. I checked the one on the other end. The other one on the other end is installed already, and I don't feel like we need to put any silicone in these. They grip the glass pretty tight. So I'll show you how we install this. It's rocket science. Just start it on one end. Make sure that your track is centered on the glass. Don't use a hammer. And I usually kind of bring it in on one end and just work my way up so that it kind of lays in. And of course, this one's going to give me a little bit of an issue. There she goes. Come on. You guys may get to see me break the windshield.
Is that where we put the new felt in?
Yeah, but that's not where the issue is.
Oh.
The issue is right there.
Right there. Okay.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure that it wasn't rolling that felt,
Yeah.
under. That can happen. So.
So that was straight up.
Okay, and then you want to make sure that your channel on both ends is tight to the glass.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the issue because it's right in there now.
So give it a good spank in the glass. So this was the end I was just demonstrating to you that we had put on. Because I turned the glass around, I was getting ready to put the top on. And lo and behold, on the other end, that was on there. It was fine. But while I was tapping this one on, the other end cracked, which was installed like butter. The only thing we can figure, because it happened right here, is maybe there's a small goober of weld in there that I didn't catch. And when I was tapping on this glass with this edge being... Can you slide that down, Dad?
Do which?
Just slide it down. I just want to bring it that way, yeah. Okay. So when it doesn't need to be off, but when I was tapping on that end, this must have been twisting a little bit here. And with this little teeny bit of maybe a goober in there that I missed.
Yeah. Became a pivot point.
Yeah, it became a pivot point, and it caused that to crack. So I have not broken a window in 20 years. So much for my record. Oh well. Well, I guess we better go to the glass shop, and things come to a screeching halt until we get a new glass. Sorry.
Things happen.
It's the joy is to my pride when I show you guys everything. I'd like to hide this and not show you, but you don't learn if I don't show you the mistakes. There must be just a little teeny bit of weld that I didn't catch right in here on that joint, and a sharp spot that I didn't see, and you can see on that right there. So we're going to load this back up because we don't have another pattern, and we're going to take it to the glass shop and get another
in fact,
one.
right here, you can feel it with the razor blade.
Yep, there's an edge.
Right down in there.
Yep, and that, I think that's what it is it twisted just enough that it, because when I put it on, it was fine. I was watching it carefully, and it went on so easy, but probably just that little teeny flex, which I'm glad it happened now, because it could have happened in the car with the car twisting and flexing down the road. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can see it down in there now.
Yep. Okay. My bad.
Way down in here, especially.
Oh, yeah.
There's a chunk there.
Okay.
Yep.
Not funny. This is where we need that. Wah, wah, wah. Well, we ran up and dropped the new windshield off to get a new windshield made. The ironic part of that was that break is exactly the spot where the original windshield was broken. But it was totally my screw up completely. There's a little bead of weld in there just a little teeny drop of weld in there that I didn't catch. And we figure what must have happened was when I put that end on, it went on like butter. And maybe it chipped the glass edge just a little teeny bit. And then when I was tapping this one on down here, giving it the spanking that I was joking about, either it did cause that to run or it chipped it then and caused it to run. But either way, totally my screw up, and $215 later, we'll have a new windshield in about a week. So Dad and I are going to move on to other things, but that's going to be it on this project today. I'm not going to end the episode here. We're just going to put this on hold, and when we get the new windshield again, we'll pick up. I am going to change the way I'm doing this. We're going to use this, obviously, that's no big deal. But we are going to go the other direction that'll go with some of these cars when they're weak. And I'm going to spread this open, and we're going to put a few dabs of silicone on there and just slide them on gently and let them dry. I'll get that done probably, hopefully, if that windshield is done before Dad gets back. If not, that's where we'll pick up next time. So we'll see you just like that. But for me, it'll be a week or maybe even 2. Well, here we are 6 days later. The new windshield was done actually on the Monday after Dad and I dropped it off. And I just been swamped and couldn't get to it. But I took an hour today to modify the tracks just a little bit, fix all of the little teeny imperfections. But I also went the same way I went on my 47, which I should have done anyway. My one mistake, besides cracking the glass, because I missed that little bead of slop from welding, I didn't check the glass thickness between the original glass and the new glass. So I compounded the problem that I made when I cracked the glass because I left that little bead of weld in there. I compounded the problem because the glass is over 100 thousandths thicker. Now, 100 thousandths isn't a huge amount, right? But it's enough. And when you combine that, all of those elements together, it definitely was making those windowed side tracks go on harder. So what I did on the 47 Ford, because I should have known this because the glass on that car was thicker than the original also, I spread the tracks open so they slip on easily, not loosely, but easily. After cleaning up all my booger weld stuff that I missed, it wasn't much, but I'm still disgusted with myself. But anyway, after cleaning all of that up, I spread those tracks open so they would go on with a slight press fit, and I put about 12 daubs of silicone across the top and 3 on each side to hold. These don't need much because the glass, this slides up and down in the track here. We just want to keep this track from sliding, but we needed quite a bit up here because that has to pull the windshield up and down. So I'm going to let that dry. Dad tentatively scheduled to be here tomorrow, and hopefully we can get this installed. But that was my mistake there. Didn't think about the glass thickness as well. So I got it siliconed, and I've got it held with zip ties to hold everything while that silicone dries for 24 hours, and we should be good to go. I'll bring you over here and let you see what we got. Okay, so it's all fitting nicely. We'll have a little bit of cleanup work to do on these. But pretty much everything we did the first time we did. The second time I tapped them on there with a piece of wood, but there's silicone in there. We made little gaskets. I didn't want to film what I was doing. I did not want to be distracted because I didn't want to have to take the chance on once again breaking a piece of glass and having to get another one made. You know how it is. So it wasn't that I was hiding anything from you. I wanted to just take the time without the distraction of camera and get it done. So I put a little extra on the ends here. Hopefully I got that on there right, but you can see the wear marks here where the pieces fit in. I got my cutouts here where it has to clear the frame of the Oakland for the upper piece up here that goes across where the window mechanism is. So I think we're good. We'll obviously have to take a razor blade and clean a few things up here and there, but that should do the job. And I'm not, as long as this window rolls up and down easily, I'm not concerned about that pulling off. My more concern is getting it off again if I need to. I'm just making sure it's pulled down good, and it is. I can see my silicone squishing out right here, so that's good. Okay, I need to just go away and not sit here and play with it. I wanted to be sure that my tracks were, on top and bottom good, and they are. So I think we're golden. I hope. When we next come back, Dad should be here and we should be installing it if I did everything right. And if not, we'll be cutting it back apart again to fix it. Won't that be fun? I really have lost confidence in myself with this little bit of the project. And here we are yet on another day. Very rare that I go this many days doing an episode, but it's the way it is. This dried really nice. Everything looks good. The zip ties worked really good to hold everything in place overnight. Dad should be here real soon, and we will start working on fitting this in the car and finding out what we need to do to build what it takes in the car to get these tracks to work properly. The way I built it, it's going to be a little bit skinnier, but I have some rubber and other things that we will use along with probably some seam sealer to kind of replicate the factory seals that were in there that are all disintegrated and useless. So anyway, we'll be after it again here real soon. Just getting some of the old seal off on that side. Everything else is cleaned up. That's pretty good. We can just blow that out with the blowgun then, I think, and we're good.
Okay.
Hopefully. I think that's just wood there. I don't know if it's metal. I guess it is metal, isn't it? If I didn't get those trim pieces or those tracks lined up exactly right, we're going to have a problem. What we'll do is we'll test fit them with the screws and make sure they work before we put the window in, because they have to go in with the window. But if we can screw them in where they belong, as a test fit, then we should be fine. And I think all we need is just a small seal on the outside between the track and that lip on the window right here. See how it comes like this?
Oh,
yeah. Against, it's hard to hold the camera and do this. I think need a small seal in here.
Oh, okay.
And that should work. So it's like an 1/8 of an inch thick or something like that. So.
All right, there's a couple nail heads here too that probably need to be.
Yeah, if you want to drive those in as well, check this side too, and then we'll test fit those tracks and make sure they work.
Okay.
We have things figured out. This is the seal that will go between the track and in the car. I'll show you that. Just need to cut out one more of these. This part here will go in the car, right in here like so, ish, and then this track will go in against it right there, but it's got to go in with the windshield. So, but anyway, that's how it goes, and that's just the right thickness. So we're going to cut one more of those out for that side or the other side, or I don't know. We got to cut one more out, get it stuck to the car, and then we should be able to test fit everything one more time before we put the window in.
Yeah, and there's one screw that holds this in. The window is up, and then it can go in there and hold that.
Right. Yep. You can't put this track in without it being on the glass, and you put it in, and the window has to be up above that screw, and then you screw the track in, and then the track just kind of self-centers at the top. And I think we're going to glue it a little bit at the top also. So. I've got a nail sticking out over there yet, but we got the rubber on both sides now here and on that side. So we're ready pretty much to put the windshield in as soon as he gets that taken care of over there. As long as it's flush, it'll be fine.
That's pretty close.
Oh yeah, I did want to mention also, while I'm thinking of it, I measured the thickness of this felt track that I made compared to the original rubber track, and it's off by 2.5 thousandths of an inch. So I think we're going to be okay. I don't think we have to worry about there being a difference in thickness and the window coming out of the track. I was quite surprised that it was that thick. Our next step here is to get all these zip ties off and make sure everything's glued good. Okay, side track doesn't need to be terribly tight. Top track is super tight. Yeah, side track is good. This one's a little loose, but it's glued. It's not going to go anywhere. So this goes on here like this, and this goes on here like this. And we'll get it in the car, then we'll raise it up in position. Once it's in the car, and get the side track screwed in. And then once that's screwed in, we can get the top plate on with the mechanism and so forth. So I think that's what we're ready to do. Okay, here we go. We got to bring it up over the windshield. Like so. Then down behind the dash. And up. Like this. And go up underneath that. Oh, darn it, I lost my track. Hold on. And up underneath that like that. And then bring this in. And the screw is going to be... We got to get the glass up above the screw. Like that. And then be real careful. Oh, man. It's going to bind because the screw is holding us back. So we got to take it back out. We got to take the screw out. I was hoping we could leave the screw in there. Just hold it a second. Let's see if we can get the screws out. Okay, I got mine out. If you can get yours out.
Without losing it.
Yeah, if you do, I got more. Wouldn't hurt to replace them anyway. Heads are a little munged up. Okay, so up above again. Slide the whole thing in.
Track's got to go back up, right?
Doesn't matter. Just get the track in there first.
Oh, I see.
Like that. Okay, now we're good. And then we can get the track in position, by sliding it up and down where we need it to be. Like that. There we go. And I can't see my mark, but that's good. Can you hold it there?
Yeah, well, it'll stay in there now.
Right, it's not going to go anywhere. Yep. So now I can fiddle around with trying to find the screw hole. I can't see because of the stupid...
Yeah, I see it.
I see that screw hole, but I'm talking about where my mark was here. Okay, we're just a little teeny high. Not the window itself, but the track. Okay, good. That sure should go. Okay. You okay with it?
Yep.
Okay. I mean, all you're doing is holding it up. You're not... I put that screw right there.
There's one right here on the seat, right by your
Right,
light.
that one will work, yep. The track slipped. I saw it move when... Yep, it fell way down. We moved the glass and it fell down. Okay, right there. Try not to move it if you can help it.
Yep.
Just want to be sure it's in far enough so it doesn't catch the glass.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not in far enough, but it's in far enough, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So I need to come do that side, but I got to find that other screw. I put it right here on the floor. There it is.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll tell you what. Can you come around, or go, better yet, maybe go on the outside and hold it up?
Did I hear a screw fall?
No, I got it in my hand.
Slope fender is not the easiest thing to sit on.
And if you need to come over here, that's fine. We can do that too. But okay, that's good. Yep. Okay, I'm gonna need the light. There it is. Couldn't find my mark.
Is it up too high?
Yeah. Okay, like that. I think that's about where it goes. I wonder if I can. There we go. It'll be right in my way. It'll be perfect. I'll take the steering wheel out of here. Pain in the neck. Yeah, it's. Oh, did this one get put? No, it's not. I thought it got put on upside down there for a second. There it is, right there. Okay. It's really hard to hold that screw. It's so small. There it is. Okay. Don't breathe. I need a bigger screw gun for this. No! That one's in good. Okay, let me go around and tighten the other one down and we'll be all set. This one's tight. I just want to make sure it needs to be a little bit more in, I think.
Yeah, you definitely don't want the glass to catch on that.
Yeah, we've had experience with stuff like that. Okay, yeah, because it's the track now. Okay, go ahead and let go. What do you think?
What's that?
What do you think?
I think it's in there.
I think so.
Sure going to improve our outlook.
Yeah.
Oh, you can reach those little handles up above.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
It does slide back and forth a little bit.
Left to right?
Yeah, and we can, what we may want to do is shim the top out. I think it's so tight on the bottom. I'm wondering if it's doing this a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see that. So we can shim the top to tighten that up. So let's work on that next.
Okay. So is it doing a little bit of this stuff?
Yeah, when you come up with it, it starts getting loose. It's actually tight at the bottom, but at the top it's loose, so I think it needs to...
Okay.
All right, we shoved a paint stick in each side, and when I lift the glass up now, it has no side-to-side movement. So we think we're going to use some of that same rubber that we used on the outside of this track, and just put a piece of that in there. It's self-adhesive, and that will hold that in place. We've got some nice, I wished I had raised that up just a little bit more, but I think it should be okay. And that one I did definitely raise up 1/4 of an inch, so we're okay. It's not going to come out of there. It's
okay. I just need a piece maybe yay long.
Yeah, it doesn't need
3 or 4 inches.
3 or 4 inches long and 1/2 inch wide.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go cut that. We'll get that in there and see how it works. So we got our rubber seals in here. So our next step, it does have a little bit of play on the bottom. And the way we can resolve that is put the window crank mechanism in, roll the window up, take the screws out, put shims down at the bottom, get it right, and then put longer screws in there to hold that. So that's our next process. We're going to get the window crank mechanism back in at the top. I wouldn't get too carried away with them yet, but My dad always taught me, make sure you just snug them down. Don't tighten them down real tight until they're all in. I never listened, but that's what he told me.
I never listened either, evidently. So just snug them up. Not
Yeah, I don't get too carried away yet. I don't know if we're binding anything. You know, I don't want something
Right.
to go crack. Although if it does, then it's on you this time, not me. Okay, so both sides are in, so let's see what we got. Go ahead and give her a little crank and let's see what happens. That's as far as she goes.
there she goes. Yep.
Okay, so now we can loosen these screws up again and get this track shimmed out with the same rubber stuff. We'll need longer screws, which I don't know if I have. We may have to make a road trip.
Yeah.
And then get this a little tighter at the bottom. But I think that's pretty good. Although with it, I wonder. You know what? I'm wondering with it in the tracks up here now if it's not loose anymore. Because I was, you know, it's being pulled even. I wasn't pulling it evenly.
Right.
So maybe it's not.
Now try it a time or two and see what you
Well,
think.
you know what? It can't need to come out down here anymore because this track here is glued to the window. Yeah, it's glued to the window and this is tight to the car, so it can't be the issue
Okay.
because there's no room for it to come out. You see what I mean? This one's tight here also, right? Yes.
Yep.
So
Seems to
it
be.
can't. We just need a power motor on it. And that's up all the way. That's quite a... I'm anxious to go for a drive and check this out.
It feels like there's a stop there, right?
Yep. It hits the seal on the bottom, so
How's the mechanism feel?
feels good. Yeah, real good.
No,
It goes
sloppy.
to stop all the way. Nope. No slop at all.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah, I think we're good. We'll go check that on the outside and see how that bottom seal is. Okay, Dad's going to crank it up so you can watch it from out here. Go ahead. Isn't that just cool? Go ahead and put her back down. So our next step now is going to be to get the dash in. And I don't mean put it in, I just mean we want to get the dash, the screws in here, because there is a support for the window in here.
Okay. So this screws are,
Yep, those screws in there in the bag over there on the other table. So,
that just has to be held up in place.
and I think what we'll maybe do is we'll take it for a ride before we put all the trim back in, just to be sure.
Sure. Okay.
All right, got those going in now, and that's where we're going to stop, and we're going to start the car and go for a drive. Just make sure everything is good. I guess we got a job of work to get some stuff out of the car because we got a bunch of junk in there. Getting the side trim pieces in, rear view mirror is in, compass is in, backup camera is back in, you know, the original factory 1926 backup camera that you saw us install. And I think that's it, other than wiring the camera back up, which we'll do here momentarily. And then I think we're going to go for a drive to get some gas. Oh, that's a good job done. That means I have a lot of work to do because the GTS needs to come in here and this needs to go back in the trailer.
Oh,
Ah!
this is our new Oakland. New windshield.
It's crystal clear. Super friendly. Gonna find him, grind him.
This is kind of warm today. Let's get on the AC here.
All right, let's get that air conditioner turned on. Coming the wrong way. Oh, it's hitting our trim up there. gas, then it'll rattle. So it's just sloppy engine.
Bearings.
Pistons. Contacts the cylinder wall.
Skirt the bottom part.
Below the rings, yes.
Yeah.
That's what the oil control ring controls the amount of oil that gets out the cylinder so that the piston doesn't wear on the bore. I don't know in this era if it's true, but in more modern engines, the piston, the wrist pin is offset a little bit to keep the skirt tight against the cylinder so it doesn't rattle in the bore. These could be, they may not be, I don't know. But that's why when I'm driving steady with a little pressure on it, it's pretty quiet when I let off. I can't hear that high enough. If the RPMs are high enough, when I let off the gas on the piston, it's going to rattle in the bore.
And that's just a sign of wear.
Or it could be the way the engine is designed. Now, this is 100 years old, so I don't know if they knew all of that at that point. The bores didn't look that worn when we had it apart, so some, but not terrible. But the pistons were worn also. So.
And who knows how many miles are on it.
Exactly.
You know, there's like 69,000 on the car.
Well, it's been broke for I don't know how long, we don't know. So
Yes.
it had 69,000 on it when the speedometer quit working.
Yes.